Yo, what's good, people? Today we're going to be looking at Raven in the full build of Tekken 8. So just off the bat, I think Raven has not changed a whole lot. He has some really nice quality of life buffs, I would say kind of QOL, because they don't really affect how you play him. So let's just jump into it. So I'm going to start off by looking at Down 3. Down 3 has a new animation. So it's, I mean, the low still functions the same. It just has a new animation. The range did not change, so it still hits from about 2.4. Yeah, it still hits from about 2.14, sorry, 2.14, range 2.14. So it still hits from the same range as before, but now it has a new animation. Now, the important thing is, this low is now minus 11 on block, and it was minus 12, so that's a buff. That's a really nice buff, because I don't think people actually know how important it is to have a minus 11 poke low, and it really will help Raven with just low poking, I suppose. So that's Down 3. Not much to talk about, just a new animation and frame buff on block. So now we're going to talk about Heat Smash, because this received a huge buff in my opinion. So this now does 55 damage. Look at the damage. Look at the damage. So yeah, this does 55 damage, and before it did 44. So this is a huge buff. The range is still the same, which is pretty far anyway, but yeah, pretty far. But it does 55 damage. It's still plus 14 on block, which means you get free mix, because he goes into stance, so you get a free mix here. So Soul Zone 2 or Soul Zone 4. So what's nice about this move is that you can actually space it to be minus 12 or 13, depending on where you are. I think absolute tip range you can be minus 12, but it's very hard to set up, so I would just say you will be minus 13, because at most like kind of max ranges you'll be minus 13 anyway. So yeah, this is a huge buff for Raven, and obviously Heat Smash is applicable in combos, it's applicable in neutral, it's a pressure tool, so the fact that this does more damage is a huge buff for Raven. So that's his Heat Smash. So I did notice something about Soul Zone 3-2, which is kind of his new screw move, this one. Now, sometimes in the CBT, I would press this. I would press Soul Zone 3-2 immediately, so I wouldn't wait for the 2. But now, you can, the input leniency has kind of been increased. So now you can just press Soul Zone 3-2 straight away, and you don't have to press Soul Zone 3-2. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't have to delay the 2 anymore. And sometimes I would drop combos because I would do the 2 too early, and then it just wouldn't come out. So I think they fixed the leniency on Soul Zone 3-2, because now you can just press it with no delay, and it comes out like really early. It's kind of like a buffer, so if you press it now, yeah. Oh, let me put the inputs on actually, so you can see what I'm talking about. So in the beta, if I pressed the move like before Soul Zone came out, that would not work. You would only get Soul Zone 3. So I feel like they fixed the leniency on the move, which is a nice quality of life buff. That's the premise of the Raven changes, is kind of just quality of life. I think the Heat Smash is a big thing though. The Heat Smash is huge. Okay, so back turn forward 1. Now, I'm not sure if, because I don't actually have a scientific way of testing this, but to me, it feels like back turn forward 1 is left slightly closer on hit. So you can actually do this now. The CPU is kind of bugged where it doesn't hold back straight away, I think. So, because he's left in back turn, whereas if you do this and hold back like yourself, you will get hit still, because this is natural, but you'll be facing forward. So it still works the same. So if you do back turn forward 1, this is a mix up between, because now they can hold down back out of this string, but they can't hold down back out of this string. So it's kind of a mix-up, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Okay, so now you're going to see what I mean. I'm going to record the CPU to do that sequence again. And I chose a character that does not have a back turn stance, because I think it takes longer for characters that have a back turn stance to turn around. Let's get hit. You see what I mean? So he turns around, but he still gets hit. So I actually can't block this if I hold back. Now, let's down back, because you can actually down back it. So you can get out of it by holding down back. And that's a punish. So what you would do now is, to mix that up, you would do back 10, back 2, 4. And I actually can't down back this, because you're going to get hit. And I feel like back turn forward 1 just leaves slightly closer on hit. I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's just how I feel about the move. I don't remember it being so close on hit. I remember it being a little bit further away. I think this is very good for back turn characters. So like in the Raven mirror, for example, if you do back turn forward 1, you can do this because he can't turn around and block it, which is quite nice. Unless he might be able to manually cancel it, but let's be real. If you do that in the Raven mirror, they're probably not going to manual cancel, or they might power crush. But that is a good option for characters that have back turn stance, like Lily, Ling, Feng. So yeah, that's a good option, I guess. And you can hit confirm it. So if you see they're still back turn, you can kind of hit confirm it. I wouldn't recommend just throwing out the string, because at the end of the day, this is a guess. So, but I just feel like back turn forward 1 leaves slightly closer on hit. Now I don't have a scientific way to test it, so don't take that as gospel. But I just have a feeling that they've kind of slightly changed the kind of interaction after back turn forward 1. So that's back turn forward 1. Okay, let's talk about QCF2. So this move is the same on normal hit, but on counter hit this has changed. This is a nerf, but I think it did too much damage anyway. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. So we're gonna do counter hit. So this combo did 59 damage before the nerf, and now it does 47 because the scaling has changed after this move. Now, I saw some people saying the scaling had changed on this move as well, but that's incorrect because this move did this sequence. So if you whiff the back turn forward 2 and then do 3, this also did 41 damage. So I'm not sure if they're talking about the whole string on counter hit, because actually this is natural on counter hit. So this is natural. Maybe they're talking about that, but even then I don't think the scaling has actually changed. I'm not too sure about it, but I definitely know this has not changed the scaling. And usually this is what people would get hit by anyway. So like, for example, if they blocked this and they tried to move or step, they would get hit with this move, and then that's when you would go for down for 1-4. And it still does 41 damage, and it did the same damage in the CBT. So I don't think this has been nerfed. This has been nerfed though, QCF2. So those are Raven's changes. As I said, he is pretty much the same as the CBT, just with some QOL buffs and 1 nerf. But in my opinion, he's slightly buffed, ever so slightly buffed. Heat Smash is huge. Like, this is huge. The damage is just crazy. And then this being -11 is quite big. And then obviously you have the Soul Zone stuff. Soul Zone 3-2 being slightly easier to execute. It's not a big thing, but I think it's just a small quality of life buff. Yeah, those are Raven's changes. If you actually know of any other Raven changes, let me know in the comments, because we're all learning at the end of the day. And I actually have a spreadsheet of all the changes, all Raven's moves, all of Raven's frames. So I spent the whole day yesterday, well, not the whole day, but as soon as Tekken came out, I spent because I went to the Tekken 8 launch party actually in London, which was amazing. Really, really, really cool. So I didn't get to play the game as soon as it launched because I was in London. So I think I got home at about 2 AM, and then I switched on Tekken. I played until about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was just labbing Raven and Victor. So yeah, I have a spreadsheet with all Raven's moves, the frames, where it does counter hit. So if you want me to share it, please let me know, and I will put it in the comments. I'll pin it or something so you can kind of add to it, or because I think ultimately I'm not going to know every single change. These are just kind of the main changes that I wanted to bring to attention. These are the most important changes. Wow. This combo. Anyway, before I start doing crazy stuff, I'm going to end the video here. Let me know what you think about Raven changes. Like, comment, subscribe. Liking helps with the algorithm. Commenting helps with the algorithm. And subscribing will help me with my channel. And just knowing you guys enjoy it and appreciate the content. Peace.